People in Raleigh get to a safe place. I'm in Rocky Mount. Just went through a tornado. Shit tore up. Get to a safe place. Several people hurt. People got lifted up. Buildings destroyed. It's bad. Dudes over there got picked up, thrown around. Building right there was a building right there. I'm in Rocky Mount. Storm is headed to Raleigh. Tornado's headed to Raleigh. Getting a safe place. My back window got blew out. That car got picked up and thrown around. Something up under that one. Several people hurt. So get to a safe place. The storm is coming to Raleigh. All them cars got damaged. Dude over there got picked up and thrown around.
They created homosexuality, transgenderism, all this stuff, all that to depopulate that. Remember we spoke about earlier about Joel Osteen, what's going on in Houston, Texas. Like I said, do not marvel if that disaster that happened down there was man-made because of depopulation. See, one thing about Satanists, they believe that when the Antichrist comes, that the Antichrist is going to give them immortality. That they're going to be immortalized with their riches and their powers on the earth. So right now you got the people, the Illuminati puppets coming up because they want this type of power when the Antichrist system comes. The Antichrist system is here, but the Antichrist is going to come in a body form. And when they come, they believe that they're going to be immortalized. They're going to receive immortality. So they believe that they are the mink and that this earth belongs to them. And so when they get to a certain point in their lives, they become gods. And the things that they do through mysticism is what? Is not room. So they can kill you on the strength of for the better good. And you got a lot of movies that advocate this killing for the greater good. You know what I'm saying? So what they doing is depopulating the world. You see, people are living past the estimated time of death. And so they got these chemtrails, they got everything that's going on in the world to cause you to get sick and die.
There is a growing citizens movement demanding an explanation of chemtrails.
And I talked to my NSA buddies at Fort Carson, Peterson Air Force Base, Buckley, where I was actually their doctor taking care of the pilots.
So, people are living past that time. So because people living past that time, they got to do something. What can we do? depopulate the world. HARP was set up over there in Australia to manipulate weather. Now, as you said earlier, as you said something about what Jesus said, Jesus said in his time, he prophesied that you would hear rumors of wars, that you would see tornadoes and earthquakes, and this is the beginning of sorrow. But what Jesus did not say was it man-made, or was it coming from God? He didn't say was it from the devil. He didn't say it would be man-made. He didn't say none of that, because at that time was technology strong then. They didn't have no technology. So why would he say that at that time? It wasn't for those people. But now God showed us through the book of Revelations certain things that were transparent in our time. But he didn't tell them about technology, because them people's mind wasn't there. Why would he tell them anything about technology? They were like, what is that?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so he
yeah,
did not say, was it going to be man-made or from God or from Lucifer? He just said, you will hear rumors of wars. He didn't say how man would create them. He said you will see tornadoes and earthquakes. He didn't say it was going to be man-made or the devil, whatever. He just said that was going to happen. Matter of fact, it was wars from the beginning, but not big wars like World War I, II, stuff, big wars like that, Civil War that happened among the United States. He didn't mention, he just said rumor wars. And these are wars, he said earthquakes and stuff. He said that's the beginning of sorrows. What makes it the beginning of sorrows? Because man is doing it. Watch this now. What do you mean? Man created a system that they throw chemicals in the atmosphere. And mind you, God created the atom. God created the molecules, the compounds, the stuff that creates stuff. Okay? Now, once you throw certain chemicals and mix in with certain chemicals, we're talking scientific stuff here, but when you start mixing different compounds and chemicals together, you will receive a cataclysmic reaction. Once that happens, there's a result that's going to happen on the strength of those chemicals that should not be mingled together. God, what he does is, he created the sun to evaporate water up. And then the sun melts the cloud and the water comes down. Okay?
Yeah.
But when you mix certain compounds together, with that, it creates a counterfeit. Remember, I think it was like 2 years ago or something, it snowed out of nowhere, and you put a light to it, it didn't melt.
Yeah.
It burned. It looked like plastic. And I remember out of nowhere, we were sitting there and some hail came flying down and it started bending up your car. Big old hail came down. What is this? It's man using us as guinea pigs. What's happening? It's man doing it work, trying to see what they can do. Okay? The chemtrails, they're releasing certain chemicals in the air to manipulate weather, to manipulate your health. What are they doing? They're trying to depopulate the world. They're taking all steps to depopulate the world. One of the steps is transhumanism. What I was telling you about transhumanism, where man and machines become one. Why are they doing that? Watch this. Now they're setting up sex dolls. That's popular among men.
Now, we discovered that while you were at MIT, you wrote a thesis called Lazarus, almost a precursor to the current scientific movement known as singularity. Given that 15 years later you are creating a humanoid robot, do you still believe, like Dr. Kurzweil and many others, that mankind will someday evolve into, well, machines?
Now, transhumanism, machine and man coming one, machines taking over. They want machines because when you depopulate the people and destroy the poor people, because the poor people is the one that's making the rich people rich, right? You kill them off, what you going to have left? What's going to keep us rich? What's going to keep putting money in our pockets? Machines. Machines. You depopulate, you kill off, and you put machines. They're doing it there in California. Machines is replacing a lot of stuff. They said they're even working on creating a machine to drive rigs, 18-wheelers. They even got machines that actually drive Ubers. Now watch this. What did we see that at? We seen that where? Total Recall.
Where am I?
You're in a Johnny Cab.
I mean, what am I doing here?
I'm sorry. Would you please rephrase the question? Huh?
How did I get in this taxi?
The door opened. You
Wants to talk. Now, behind the elite is the hand that controls the puppet. But the hand that controls these elites, the elites got strings, and all these strings is all these secret society groups that control the world. Control blacks, whites, control all of them, to keep them in control. So, what they do is, because it's millions of members worldwide, how can they communicate with them? They communicate with one another through movies. They communicate with one another through games, music, and all that stuff. So when you look at a movie, you actually looking at the brains of the puppet master, telling them what they're going to do to you. So we sit back and we watch the Game of Thrones, we watch Power, we watch all this stuff, and we talking about what's going to happen to the Dragon Queen, what's going to happen to the Lannisters, what's going to happen to all these people. We don't even realize that they're talking about killing you. They're talking about depopulating you. Like, for example, the dead, the winter's coming in the Game of Thrones. They're talking about the winter coming. What does that mean? That's the New Age movement. That's the wiping out of mankind and making them zombies. You can control zombies. The Matrix, zombies, you can control them. So, they communicate to each other, showing how they depopulate the world and how they can control. So they want, how many billions of people in this world? About 7 billion or something?
Yeah.
They want to bring it down to a couple of millions. Because with a couple of million, you can control them. Homosexuality, transhumanism, wars and all that is man-made. It's man-made. So people say, well, what about, I heard a person say, if it's man-made, then what about Sodom and Gomorrah? Man-made! What in the world? There's nothing new under the sun. The Bible said there's nothing new. Remember, back in the time of Noah, we don't know how they lived. God destroyed them all. The Bible said, watch this. Now mind you, in the time of Noah, they was more intelligent than you or I could ever be. You know why? Because it was giants. And their brain was about the size of our head. You get what I'm saying? There was giants and their brain was big. And so when God spoke to Noah and told him how he wanted to build the ark, he didn't write nothing down. The Bible never said he wrote nothing down. He didn't write nothing down. It was there and he knew. That was closer to the creation.
What is your profession?
The adversary of this world are ready to die to take away our freedom. Chronicle Nation, what is your profession?